you're searching around, you want to know what is in a financial plan, right? You're maybe looking to take that first step to start up a plan or really figure out what's going on. What's it all about? Why do I need one, right? But what we're going to talk about here today are what are the 5 key components of a financial plan? What should they be addressing for you to help you get started on the road to success? All financial plans are going to need to focus on cash flow and where you are today, right, with your current budgeting strategy. But it goes a little deeper into what components really exist inside that financial plan. And the first one we want to look at is risk management, right? How are we mitigating the risk that is in our plan, right? What are the pitfalls? What are the drawbacks? Things that can happen. And a good financial plan will address all of those to help you know what changes you need to make, what insurances you may need to add, which ones you can cut back on, so you have a nice cohesive strategy. So the next component of your financial plan will need to address retirement planning, right? What are the things that you're doing towards your retirement? How much are you putting into your retirement plans, and what will the income distribution look like when you reach retirement? This is a big component, and sometimes people think about financial plans that maybe that's the only part that's being focused on. It is so much more than that, but retirement is so big in people's minds because at some point you are going to stop working and you're going to need to create your own income. So what's that look like? Your financial plan will help map that out and help create some good projections for you to monitor and measure as you go along year over year. The third component is investment, right? And all too often, financial advisors only focus on investment. So you can see the reason to have a financial plan is because the investment is focused on in the plan, but it's so much more than just investments, right? So people that are chasing rate of return and all that sort of stuff, it's fine and well, but that can't be the only part. How your investments play into the overall strategy with risk mitigation and where those investments fit into your retirement portfolio are so important to understanding your full financial plan.
Rob Gill, Money Minute. Listen, when it comes to financial plans, there is parts and strategies we want to be able to establish, gather, process, recommend, implement, monitor. That's the key to proper planning when it's all said and done. Back to Eddie for the rest of the 5 parts.
The fourth component is estate planning, right? And what is estate planning? It's really helping you understand what's going to happen when you're no longer here, right? I think of it as being able to control what happens from beyond the grave, right? You want to make sure that if your children are receiving your inheritance, or the church is getting your inheritance, or whomever is getting it, that they're using it in the ways that you intended, not in the ways that they intended. So you can set up rules that govern what they can do with the money that you're leaving behind. You can create a nice legacy that people can't overspend because you've set the rules on how much they get, when they get it, and what things they have to do to get it, right? So an estate plan becomes very important, but more than just talking about what's left behind, you also have to address the current needs of today. In that estate plan, when you have your wills done, you'll also look to have healthcare proxies that say what happens if there's a medical situation. You'll want to set up and create the powers of attorney. So the financial plan will address those, and you'll work with your attorney and your financial planner to make sure everything's mapped out on your plan so that you have all the documents in place to make sure what you want to have happen actually does happen. So the fifth part of your financial plan is tax planning, right? This is where you're going to work with your accountant and your financial advisor and maybe your estate planner to put everything together, because the idea behind that plan is to minimize the taxes, not just today, but also in the future for what you're going to take out and what your legacy looks like. So depending on the size of your overall wealth, the more intricate the tax planning can become, right? There's so many strategies that can be employed in your planning to help mitigate and reduce those taxes to you and to your family. We're looking at risk mitigation, right? So what is that? We want to review our insurances, make sure our protections are all in place. We're looking at our retirement planning and are we doing the right things to stay on track to where we want to get to, right? And in that, we're going to factor in, inflation and taxes and all the other things that could happen in retirement. You're going to look at your investment plan and make sure that your investments are in the right spot and doing the right things that you want them to do, constantly monitoring and measuring. We're going to look at your estate plan, that's component number 4, right, to make sure that all the things happen the way you want them to. And lastly, tax planning, right, to make sure that you get to keep as much as you possibly can that you've worked so hard to earn and accumulate. So hopefully this creates some clarity around financial planning and the different components involved in it. Obviously, when you work with a financial planner, I go much more detailed, but make sure that they're hitting all of those pieces so that you are getting a full plan, right? The other thing is that we're putting out content like this every day. So hit the subscribe button and also that notification bell, because that'll let you know every day when a new video drops, because we have content just like this all the time. And if you like this video, please like this video.